you see the social media reels, people in the barbershop debating about Jordan and LeBron and who's the best. I'm not one of those. I'm gonna possibly catch a charge over over the debate.
It's like Coming to America. That's day one.
That's day one. That's day one.
Joe Louis was 137 years old when they fought.
He beat Joe.
Oh man,
yeah,
a lot of cultural references.
Oh man, you gotta get with the flow. Get with the flow.
Oh man,
that's day one.
I love it. That's day one.
What's up? I'm Bugg and Smalls.
Yeah. And I'm D Bugg. We're back.
Yes, we are. We are back with another episode of the Unscripted Order podcast. So look, man, this thing has just been great. I mean, I've been enjoying the opportunity to, just kind of come and share with you guys, and obviously be with my main man, Mr. Bugg here. And so we appreciate all the love and support y'all been showing us. Last episode did very well. Y'all apparently love the 757 a lot.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't love the 757?
Exactly. So, but what I want to do is I want to tell y'all to go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you're following us on Instagram, and certainly make sure you're also checking us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So.
Yes, indeed. And as always, because Unscripted Order, we talk about the law, life, and everything in between. We need you to know that this is not us giving legal advice in any way. We're not establishing any kind of attorney-client relationship. And if you have a legal question or a legal issue that you need to talk to an attorney about, we suggest you do just that. Find an attorney that practices in your area in that type of law. This podcast is for informational and educational purposes only, folks.
That's it. Nothing more, nothing less.
That's it.
All right, so I'm excited about today's podcast because this is going to be the great debate. Yeah, we're going to talk about some different topics. Dante, so, you excited about this episode?
Always, man, always. I mean, we have a pretty good and ongoing debate in our text messages at any given moment anyway.
That's true.
So it's only right that we bring everybody else into it.
Yeah. And hopefully this will be something that the people get involved with. So, obviously, in the comments, on the YouTube, and then also obviously on the social media as well. Y'all been engaging with us. So, we was looking at the numbers from social media, man, and it's crazy just the amount of support, that we've been getting. So I'm excited, man. And we got some big news coming up here soon. We'll hold off on we'll hold off on unveiling right now. But yeah, I'm really it's coming. It's coming, and we're really excited about it. So so what's been up since the last time we were together?
Man, a whole lot, as always. Never a dull moment in the circuit court. It's been moving so fast, I can't even really remember some of the things that happened over the past couple of weeks in terms of that. But, outside of the courtroom, my son had a great soccer tournament this weekend. I got to give him and his squad a shout out. They really came to represent and play really, really hard. They came within penalty kicks of making the championship game. And it's really impressive. Like I was telling you offline, they had come into that tournament, had not won a game this season. So you talk about putting it together at the right time. So just very proud of them, man. And it was great to see how that team finally got a chance to come together and show what they're capable of. So, that was a proud soccer dad moment over the course of this weekend watching him.
That's what's up, man. Well, man. Speaking of dad stuff, so my son was on fall break from college.
Yeah.
This past end of last week, beginning of this week. And he came home, and it's always good to to have your kids home, especially when they go away to school. And fortunately for us, he didn't go very far, so we see him
right down the street.
We see him pretty frequently. But it was funny because it must have been last night where he said, yeah, Dad, I want to order some pizza. Because the game was coming on, and he wanted to order some pizza for the game. I was like, all right, cool. Well, when you place your order, I'm gonna place an order too. Okay. And we'll go ahead and, because he was like, yeah, I'll go pick it up, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, all right, well, just let me know when you're ready. He was like, I'm ready now because the game going to come on in a half hour. I said, all right, so I placed the order. All right. And, I tell him, look, I put in your name, just pick it up when you pick up your order. He was like, all right, cool. Because he was talking about he got, I guess points that he can use to, purchase his food or whatnot on campus. So gets back to the house, got pizza. And I noticed he had only sat one pizza on the counter in the kitchen. So, we're in the middle of eating pizza and whatnot. And he was like, hey, you going to get some more? I was like, well, probably not right now. He was like, all right, cool. So I see him go into the kitchen and reach into the box that I had ordered. And, so we came back in. I was like, what's up, man? Why I only see one pizza box in there? He was like, well, when you placed your order, I thought that was for us. And I was like, hold up now. Hold up now.
I mean, listen, the man is in college. He got to take every cost-cutting measure that he can. You know that.
I understand that.
You were ordering pizza?
Yes, I was ordering pizza at one point in time as well myself.
It'd be a waste. It'd be a waste if he bought a pizza and you bought a pizza.
Right, that's true. And in the grand scheme of things, either way, whether I paid for it or he used his points, them points coming out of my pocket.
Still paying for it?
I was still paying for it anyway.
It's still your money.
So it's still my money, but it's all good. The other thing was, had a dope time last week. So as you know, the judges get together once a year. The district court judges across the state get together once a year. And this year we were in Virginia Beach and we were in conference for the better part of the week. And first of all, Virginia Beach in October, sometimes it's hit or miss. But when I tell you the weather was perfect.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was so nice. Yeah, it was nice.
I saw you and a lot of other people were posting.
Yeah.
And it looked like y'all were having a good time. Y'all were out at the beach, after learning all day. But the last time they sent us to Virginia Beach, it was in May, and it was hurricane winds the whole time. Just rain. And ours looked nothing like that. So y'all had a much better weather setup than we did.
We were very fortunate the first part of the week. So got there Monday afternoon. By Wednesday, weather had turned a little bit. Wednesday afternoon, and then Thursday was okay, but it got really, really windy. And I mean, that's that oceanfront, weather that you deal with, whenever you're dealing with a location right on the beach. But shout out to Virginia Beach, man. They've really done a good job there in Virginia Beach. We walked down on the boardwalk, and it was just it was a fun time. So, and my understanding is for the next 2 years we're supposed to be going back to Virginia Beach. So I'm excited about staying local. Because hey, I love my folks out in Roanoke, but if I'm able to stay in the 757, I don't have to go too far. I'm all for it.
I was just about to mention my lack of really liking when they send us out to Roanoke, but we don't have control over it.
No.
It's like, we got to go to Roanoke again?
Yeah. And what's funny is I hadn't been to Roanoke before becoming a judge. I had not been to Roanoke since taking the bar. And
it's traumatic to go back, isn't it?
Yes. I mean, I remember pulling in, and you get that, like, there's an actual feeling that you get pulling into the city, like, man.
Never going back after the bar exam until it was mandatory.
Yeah. It had been, was it 20 years? It wasn't quite 20 years. Let me think.
Oh yeah.
I took the bar in 2007. Yeah. So it was like
a little less than that.
It was about 15 years or so that I, because I really had no other reason to go to Roanoke.
No other reason to go. No disrespect to Roanoke. Shout out to my guy Mayo Wilson down on the bench.
Yeah.
And Stafford, my good friend Malik Sharif. They about the only people I know from Roanoke.
Okay. But, hey, the Barber Bros, Tiki and Rondé, I think.
I don't know. I don't know them.
I know.
They went to the wrong undergrad, so I don't know them that well.
Look. We don't. Well, this is the great debate, so we can talk about it.
I mean, you don't get me started.
So we'll leave that for another episode.
We'll keep the college stuff for another episode.
No, that's what's up, man. Yeah. So let's talk about it. So we gonna have a few different segments here, but we gonna start off in we gonna keep this lighthearted for the most part. So let's start with food, man. So I was talking to my son actually earlier today. See, all these things come back to food. When you're trying to feed somebody that's playing football, food is an important topic in our household, man. So we, we're talking about what the best fries are, okay, and what restaurant has the best fries. So Judge Bugg, I'm gonna turn it over to you. When it comes to fries, what's the top spot? Who's taking home that prize?
That's tough because I have quite a few that I like. McDonald's comes to mind. Wendy's has some good ones.
Oh yeah.
I do. If you're from a certain part of the town, Rally's has some fantastic fries. Right?
Yeah, they're
oh yeah. Can't beat it. But I think my number one has to be the Chick-fil-A waffle fries. I mean, Chick-fil-A waffle fries with some Chick-fil-A sauce. I'm set.
Okay.
That's all I really need. You got the waffle fries, you got the salt. I mean, they're usually cooked to perfection. It's Chick-fil-A, right? Like they usually get it right with the French fries. I got to go with Chick-fil-A fries for my number one on that.
Yeah. Now, do you have a particular sauce that you rock with when you talk about
Chick-fil-A sauce?
Chick-fil-A sauce.
It's magic. Listen, and I just realized I saw somewhere because I never knew what this concoction was, but it's just barbecue and honey mustard is what Chick-fil-A sauce is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, okay, that's pretty magical. And from what I understand, it was like a mistake that they put together, and people started liking it, and they just branded it as Chick-fil-A sauce, but it's pretty much just barbecue and honey mustard. But that with some waffle fries. Sometimes I don't even need the sandwich. Just give me some fries and some Chick-fil-A sauce. I'm good to go.
Okay. So I like Chick-fil-A fries. The waffle fries. Hey, I'm all for them. And if I'm doing them, I'm actually doing their Polynesian sauce. That's a good one. People sleep on the Polynesian sauce at Chick-fil-A, but that Polynesian sauce, because you got the salty with the fry, and then Polynesian sauce is sweet. You add the two of them, you get the sweet and the savory. Oh man, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Right. But I'm gonna tell you, I don't do it as often as I used to. Okay, but man, if you get you a hot plate of McDonald's French fries.
Yeah.
Okay. With their sweet and sour sauce. The McDonald's French fries with the sweet and sour sauce, man. That's for me. You talk about some comfort food. Oh my gosh, those McDonald's French fries are those are pretty good.
It's comfort for sure. You saying that just made me remember how we used to tear those up when we were running track.
Oh yeah.
I get a same order after every track meet, a 20 piece nugget, and a large fry, and I would dip my heart until my heart was content on the back of the bus riding back from wherever we were coming from. That's all I needed was McDonald's chicken nuggets and fries. I don't mess with the nuggets these days, but back then, whew, yeah, man.
Yeah. So let's transition and let's talk about wings. Okay, so you might have a favorite wing spot. All right. So, but then also tell me not only what your favorite wing spot is, what's your favorite type of wing? What's your favorite type of wing?
You mean flavor?
Flavor.
Well, here's the thing that makes me laugh when it comes to wings, right? Because most people that know me closely know I'm not a huge fan of. I refer to it as chicken on the bone. I love me a boneless chicken breast.
Really?
Chicken tenders, right? Boneless chicken wings, as some people call them, chicken nuggets. Right? It just came from being younger, just not liking getting all close to the inner workings of it, the ligaments, the grizzle, right. All the other stuff. And, I got some family members and friends. Shout out to my boy Coach Dean down at USF, because I've never seen anyone other than this man clear a 50-piece wing platter in a club other than this dude, right? So wings in the traditional sense are not my go-to.
Okay.
But over time, going to enough events and quite frankly having enough people look at you like, what is wrong with you?
You don't eat wings? What's wrong with you?
You don't eat wings? What's wrong with you? Right? As a matter of fact, Judge Newman up here has, some events at his place, and he would call me out in court. Like, hey, we're having a cookout, but you can't come to my house, Mr. Bugg, if you don't eat any wings. I'm like, as I'm waiting for my client to come out, this is what I know people in the courthouse are like, what is going on here? Right? But over time, I'll get them. I have to get, if I get wings, they have to be extra crispy. They have to be well done. In terms of wing spot, I like Wingstop. I don't get them that often just because of where they are from me. Buffalo Wild Wings usually has pretty good ones, but the problem with them is they usually have terrible service. So it's kind of a trade-off. Most Buffalo Wild Wings don't have great service. But in terms of type, I'm traditional Buffalo. I have not caught on with the lemon pepper craze.
Really?
Yeah, I don't see the hype, and I would prefer an Old Bay wing over a lemon pepper wing.
Really?
I know a lot of people will probably lose their mind over that, but I've had it. I think there are better options out there than lemon pepper to me.
Okay.
But I'm not a wing connoisseur like some folks.
So, when it comes to the wings, I get wings on a fairly regular basis. If I'm out and about, especially if I'm out like at a sports bar, watching a game or something like that, or if it's a situation where I want a good meal, a decent meal, but I also don't want it to be a situation where I'm overdoing it from a food standpoint, especially if I'm trying to stay away from like bread or, I don't want a burger or sandwich or something like that.
Yeah.
I'll get wings. Okay. Now, I will tell you that my favorite wings are actually at a local spot here. Shout out to my guy, Alex Frazier. Tipsy Beans Cafe is a local. Tipsy Beans Cafe.
I like the name already.
Yeah. It's a local spot. And Alex is a good friend of mine. I've been knowing him since elementary school. But, it is Tipsy Beans Cafe is an awesome place here in Williamsburg. It's busy. It stays packed.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things. If you don't get there, a certain time, boy, you might be waiting for a little while, because they have a great menu, but they have some of the best wings that I've ever had. Now they do. Now this is for my DC folks. Okay, I think you might know where I'm going with this.
I know where you're going.
You know where I'm going. The mumbo sauce wings. Man, when I tell you what, they do a good mumbo sauce wing, and I tell you what, it's, whether you like ranch or you like blue cheese, I prefer the ranch, but I'll do the blue cheese as well. Some people don't like, the chunks of the, blue cheese and the blue cheese. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Now I tell you what I'm not doing. If I ain't doing, look, you can keep your celery. I don't need the celery. Look, that's just
that's a waste.
That's a waste.
That's just a waste.
No,
that's a
just
waste.
Give me my wings.
That's a waste. That's to make it look nice.
Yes.
But I got a question for you.
Okay.
The mambo sauce. Have you ever had anyone from the DC area try the mambo sauce to tell you that it actually meets the standards?
Yes.
Because that's the key. Is somebody from up here actually telling you.
So
this one gets the stamp of approval.
So my best friend's wife, shout out to Monique Randall. Monique is from DC.
Okay. So if she gives it the blessing.
The last time I saw her in Tipsy Beans, she was eating mumbo sauce wings. So that tells you everything you need to know. And that was not her first time trying it.
That says something.
She is a repeat offender when it comes to the mumbo sauce.
They on to something there. Because you want to upset somebody from the 202, tell them you got some mambo sauce and it don't taste right.
Yeah. No, Tipsy Beans Cafe does the mumbo sauce rings right. And now, normally, I will be out. I'll be out for a meeting. So I try to be professional. I get the mumbo sauce on the side.
Just a little dip,
a little dip. Now, if I'm just out and about and I'm just kicking it, look, I'm getting that joint sauced up. So look, give me some wet wipes, some wet ones, or whatever you call them, because I'm going to work. If I'm not, this ain't a business meeting. I'm going to work. Give me them wings sauced up.
Right.
And look, don't bring me just one of them little ranch things. Look, bring me about 3, 4 of them, because I'm gonna need them. I'm pouring on, and
as soon as they hit the table, be like, just go ahead and bring me another one of those.
Just give me another one.
Let's go ahead.
But next time you're in town, I'm taking you to the Tipsy Beans
Cafe.
It out. Yeah, it's a great spot, great vibe in there, and Alex and his folks there, they do a wonderful job. Just a really, really really great spot. And
Okay.
yeah, so it's a good location.
I have to check it out.
Yeah. So, all right. So last thing on the food. So do you have a favorite food or favorite dish that, that's a go-to, or if you can have it, this is what you're going for.
I don't know if it classifies as a dish,
Okay.
but in terms of favorite food,
Okay.
I could eat blue crabs. You give me some steamed Maryland blue crabs, some Old Bay.
Okay.
I'm not huge in terms of dipping the butter. I know a lot of people like it with butter, but I just, give me a bushel of steamed crabs and I'm out the way.
Okay. Okay.
And obviously it comes from being back home. That was a signal of summertime.
Yes.
My mom pull out that folding table with the card table.
Yes.
And we cover it with paper.
The newspaper.
Cover it with newspaper. Yeah. We sit in the front yard, man, and eat crabs all day. So like I love the taste of it, the food, but it's also just like a pastime of just sitting and picking crabs. And I know, folks now are like, it's too much work for a little bit of meat and all that. Man, I will sit and pick them all day until I get full. And if I need to, I'll take them home and re-steam them and eat them the next day myself. I gotta have it, man. Gotta have it. I almost stopped on the way to my son's soccer games this weekend, the tournament was. Both times, there's a crab place we passed and this guy that had gone viral. I think it's Got You Hooked or something out of a trailer that he was over there, and it was like, man, if we wasn't, on a time schedule, I'd have to pull over. At least grab me a dozen, I don't need a bushel.
I tell you what, though, man, them crabs nowadays, boy, they don't cost like they used to, boy.
Well,
I tell you, you gonna wait till payday to get you a bushel of crabs now.
I'll tell you something. That is the only downside. It made me kind of want to go back to, we used to go and catch them ourselves back home, so it made me kind of want to go get a crabbing basket and just throw it off the pier.
Get you some chicken, throw it out
there. Yeah, a piece of chicken. A piece of chicken tied to the string. Get all the crabs you want. Start me a side business.
Low hustle.
Low price crabs. D Bugs regionally priced crabs. Coming to a street near you, man.
So for me, I guess the great minds thinking alike. So I'm not going crab. Okay, I know I've talked about lobster before.
I know where you go.
I've talked about lobster before.
$4 lobster.
$4 lobster. No, I love a good lobster bisque. When I tell you a lobster, so first of all, I'm a soup connoisseur. Okay,
of course you would be.
Yeah, I love a good soup. I like a good creamy soup as well. So, I'll do a tomato-based soup, but you give me a nice, good soup. This it's got heavy cream in it. Oh man, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. And so a good lobster bisque, is probably gonna be my go-to. If I could have anything, it's gonna be a good lobster bisque. I like she crab soup. Don't get me wrong. I love a good she crab soup. When we went to Virginia Beach this past week, I got me a she crab soup at the Cavalier Hotel. The little restaurant they got there is called Becca's. They had a really good she crab soup. But if they had that lobster bisque on the menu, bro.
With crack your little oyster crackers up in there.
Yes.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I would have tore that joint up. So.
Yes, indeed.
But yeah, so all right, man. Shout out to food, man. We just love some food, man.
Yeah. Listen, I got some leftover steak and shrimp pasta waiting on me when we finish. Do love my food. Now I'm gonna go to the gym in the morning. It's all in moderation. We ain't talk about the healthy food, but the guilty pleasures, if you will.
All right, so let's transition and let's take it to sports. Yeah. Now there's a lot of good debates that we can have as it relates to sports. I know we just did the 757 episode. It's a lot of great athletes who've come out this area. I almost feel like we can't have that debate because there'll be some folks that will come in the comments and be like, hold on, how y'all forget about so and so?
To pick the greatest all time out of the 757. That's tough. That's tough.
It is tough, even though it's Lawrence Taylor from Lafayette High School. But you know what?
See, you had to go there. You had to go there. I'm not.
I mean,
I'm not engaging with you, Judge Smalls.
Hold on, Lawrence Taylor is. Hold on, let me show you the hat real quick. Lawrence Taylor is the GOAT. I mean, they changed the position. The position.
Listen,
like they had the scheme for this dude. You know, I mean, look, I love Chuck. I love Chuck. He's a Hall of Famer. Both of them are Hall of Famers. But Lawrence Taylor changed the game.
Chuck didn't.
Yeah, Chuck did.
They had to outlaw the man's move because nobody could stop it. They had to change the dress code. Come on, man. Yeah. I mean, we said we're not gonna talk about it. Though,
we're not gonna talk about it. So let me.
And I'm not even saying my answer may not even be Chuck. Okay. I'm just saying it's tough to pick. It's tough to pick.
It is.
It's tough. So we're gonna talk about. And then we had discussed perhaps having a debate on the greatest of all time in basketball, but we both fall in the same answer with that one. It's Michael J. Jordan. And if you feel otherwise, God bless you. Yeah. But yeah, that's it.
I think as a millennial, I think it's definitely going to say, hey, it's Jordan all day, every day. And who is it? The Gen Zs? Is that these?
I lost track. I can't keep up with who's what.
I think that's these young whippersnappers out here now. Man, it's crazy, because you see speaking of debates online, we see the debates about what's Unc status and what's.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel some kind of way about being categorized in that Unc age at this point in time. But you know what?
Listen, I totally embrace it. Yeah. I totally embrace it, bro. And my buddy Malik and I have had this conversation for a while. Okay. Because coming from where we come from, it's not a guarantee to make it to this age, right?
It's a blessing.
And to be where we are in this position, I don't have a problem with that, because I'm smarter than making these dumb decisions that some of these folks are making at a younger age, right? Like, you've gotten through that part of life.
Through that part, yeah.
Thankfully, none of your mistakes were too terrible.
Yeah.
It's a sweet spot. I like it. It's a sweet spot. You got the gray hair jumping off. Yeah. I like it, man.
Yes, exactly.
I embrace it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
They don't call me big man. I don't like big man.
Well, I will tell you. I'll tell you one of my son's coaches last year when he was at high school. He saw me at one of the games. Hey, what's up, Pops? And I was like, hold up.
Yeah, I ain't had Pops yet.
Hold on, you going too far.
Yeah,
Pops, like, come on now.
Yeah, Pops might be the line.
Pops, that's my dad. My dad is Pops. He's Pops.
Yeah. Yep.
Pop.
Yep.
But no, ain't nobody's Pops. Yeah. But I started thinking, I was like, I guess. Doggone, I guess I am.
Yeah.
But nah, that's taking.
You got a few more years.
A little bit. That's taking just a little bit too far there. Okay. But yeah, we are on the same side of the Jordan LeBron debate. I mean,
yeah.
But I'm not one of these folks that is like, you see the social media reels, people in the barbershop debating about Jordan and LeBron and who's the best. I'm not one of those, like, I'm gonna like possibly catch a charge over the debate.
It's like Coming to America. That's day one.
That's day one. That's day one.
Joe Louis was 137 years old when they fought.
He beat Joe.
Oh man.
Yeah.
A lot of cultural references.
Oh man. Yeah. You gotta get with the flow. Get with the flow.
Oh man.
That's day one.
I love it. That's day one.
But taste the soup. Aha.
Uh-huh. What do you know? Your 3 punches.
How did this turn into a Coming to America?
I don't know. I don't know.
But hey, you can't go wrong.
That's the beauty of it.
We'll have to
go wrong.
We have to do a whole episode.
Oh, we gotta go movies.
We
need an old episode. Yeah, we're gonna play some bookmark.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Because there's plenty of movies that got us through college and law school.
Man, movies and shows and television shows too.
Yeah. We'll bookmark that.
We'll bookmark it. All right. So we're gonna stay on the sports front. So here's something to think about. I know you're a big sports fan, okay? I know you like both college and you like pro sports. So talk to me though. Is there a preference that you have one way or the other as far as your sports? Do you have a preference on the pro game or, it's the college game? And you can talk about football, basketball.
Yeah. I think it depends on the sport. More recently, It's been way more college basketball over pro basketball.
Okay.
And I think over time that was really just because when I was watching the NBA heavily, the players that I watched over time just, no longer play. Michael Jordan, Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
So at one point, I was obviously a Bulls fan, and when AI was in the league, I was a Sixers fan. Man, when he went to Denver, you could call me a Nuggets fan. I followed wherever he was.
Okay.
But over time, like losing, like a favorite player to follow that team. And I will tell you what kind of really ultimately sealed it for me, being in this area. I moved back up here in 2007, trying to be a Wizards fan.
It made it hard, huh?
I mean, they had some years, the Gilbert Arenas years where they would be there. And, my man Juan Dixon was playing for him for a few. So it was a little easier to tune in or follow games. I love to go to live sporting events.
Yeah,
so
sure.
Sometimes it's nothing on a Tuesday or Thursday night. Grab a ticket and go catch the Wizards game. But it really became more of waiting to see other teams. The last few games I've gone, as the Spurs were playing, so we wanted to see Wemby, or Memphis was playing, so we wanted to see John Morant. And I can't tell you there's anyone on the Wizards squad. I'm like, I got to go see him play tonight, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it's been much more college basketball, big Maryland basketball fan, always will be. But just the college game, the competitive nature of the game, and just how, you can turn on the TV just about any time, and there's going to be a college basketball game or while they're in season. The early season tournaments, obviously March Madness. I mean, what else stops work in just about every professional setting other than when those brackets come out in March Madness? So for me, on the basketball side, it's college basketball. Football is probably a tie for me. I mean, I probably find myself watching both just as much. I just love watching football. So I know Thursday night you're going to get both pro and college depending on who's playing.
Sure.
Saturdays are going to be college football games. I'm obviously tuning in to my Terps. Shout out to the Terps. I mean, we're going to get it together, man. I'm proud of my university. We dropped 2 tough ones 2 weeks in a row. I might have been, saying some choice words to the radio as I was listening to this last one on Saturday, but love watching Maryland football, but also, NFL, obviously a big Commanders fan. So, sometimes I just have the games on in the background. I may not even be paying attention. I think this morning's game, whoever was playing at the 9 a.m. game, it was just on in the background. I wasn't necessarily, I think it was the Jets and the Broncos, actually. Yeah, now that I think about it.
Okay.
So for that, it's probably pretty close. I will say in terms of this pro sports versus college sports, what I've loved much more recently is that you're seeing more non-revenue college sports get airtime. You can turn on ESPN, some of these ESPN Plus channels, and you can catch, I've seen George Mason soccer playing, Maryland soccer playing, NCAA track and field meets are televised much more regularly. You're getting pin relays that is televised. So being able to see a lot of those collegiate sports that before would never get any kind of shine on the big stage, I love watching collegiate sports in that fashion just because, it takes us both back to that experience of being a collegiate athlete. The amount of work that goes into it for your school, and then you get a chance to compete against other schools and that sense of pride, or just like I say, watching track meets and being brought back to those long days. You get to the track at 8 o'clock in the morning and go until 7 o'clock at night, and that's just on Friday or Saturday, and do it all again the next day. So I've really been enjoying the fact that collegiate sports, more than just basketball and football, have been getting shine TV-wise as well as streaming opportunities as well.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm a sports fan in general. I enjoy professional sports, but not as much as I used to. But anybody that knows me, they know where my allegiances lie. With my alma mater, the University of Michigan.
A lot of times when they're not even asking.
A lot of times you ain't gotta ask. I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna let you know.
It's 5:30 in the morning on a Wednesday. Here comes Judge Smalls in your text messages, all in your DMs.
I just want to remind you, okay, who went to the Superior U of M. So that's the only reason I do that.
And that shows the fallacy in your argument right there. If you think it's superior, but we're gonna save. That's an entire episode
is.
Maryland versus Michigan.
It is, you know. But yeah, no, college sports for me is the way I go. I'll watch the NBA. Like now, I really only watch the NBA like if it's playoff time. Honestly, I mean,
An All-Star game, right?
Sometimes I don't even watch the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't even watch the All-Star game. I don't follow the NBA. So I'll tell you when I stopped following the NBA. Okay, I love Chuck. He's probably my second favorite basketball player of all time. Okay. My first favorite basketball player of all time, obviously he's got to come from the University of Michigan, is Chris Webber. Okay.
I thought you were about to say Juwan Howard.
Well, so Juwan was a part of Fab Five, so shout out to Juwan. I love Juwan Howard too. Okay. Former Washington Bullet.
He sure was.
Yeah, he was a Washington Bullet. But Chris Webber, I love that guy ever since he was at the University of Michigan. And so when he left Ann Arbor to go to the pros, he got drafted. I thought he was going to play with Shaq because he got drafted by the Orlando Magic, first overall in the 93 draft. And, of course, they traded him for Penny Hardaway. And it ended up working out for both of them. He spent time there in Golden State, and he got traded to the Bullets. And he was with the Bullets, and I think actually he transitioned to the Wizards. He was, I think, here during that time frame. And then he got traded to the Sacramento Kings. And I can remember when he went to the Sacramento Kings, I was like, man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to be a Sacramento fan. Because the Sacramento Kings were not good when he went out there. But, man, did he really elevate that organization. And when he got to Sacramento, I was literally you know how the NBA games, you have those late 10:30 games, 10:30 tips. I was staying up. I was a Sacramento fan through and through. And so I was watching those ball games when Chris Webber, and he had Jason Williams. Oh, man. And then, of course, they transitioned from Jason Williams to Mike Bibby. And, I mean, they went to the Western Conference Finals in 2002, and I'm still convinced that the NBA gave that series to the Lakers, okay? And I think there's you watch some videos out there. So shout out to Ralph Nader. Ralph Nader, remember he was the president?
Ralph Nader.
Ralph Nader. Was he like the
we got our first Ralph Nader reference on the podcast. Didn't see that coming.
Ralph Nader, I think, talked about it there. Look, we don't do politics, but we can talk about Ralph Nader because Ralph Nader talked about how the Sacramento Kings got jobbed and that it was all a conspiracy and the NBA wanted the Lakers to win the NBA championship, and that's exactly what happened. So, but when Chris Webber, I brought that up to say this, when Chris Webber left Sacramento, he got traded to Philly, and he was playing with AI.
Oh, that's right.
And when the trade went to Philly, when they traded him to Philly, I was like, man, I feel like I gave all I can give to.
That's it.
I mean, but I thought that Chuck, being my second favorite player and Chris Webber being my first, but that they just, for whatever reason, just didn't work out there in Philly for both of them. I think both of them probably, had seen better days at that point in their careers. But I think I was NBA'd out after that. So college ball is, for me, is where it's at, especially college football. I love watching college football. And so, if we're having a debate about the pros or college, for me, it's always gonna come back to the college game. It just is what it is. That's where my allegiances lie. I really don't have a pro team that I follow as far as football is concerned. I followed former teammates of mine from when I was playing at Michigan. But it's just one of those things where I never really. I mean, I followed other teams as well, kind of when I was growing up. There was a period of time when I liked the Redskins, when they had the big hogs up front, and then, of course, they had the posse, Gary Clark, Art Monk, Ricky Sanders, yes. Yep. Yeah. So, and then I love Barry Sanders when he was with Detroit. There was one point in time I was a big fan of the Indianapolis Colts when Jim Harbaugh was there, and they had Quentin Corey out was linebacker. They used to come out in the all-white. They had the white tops and the white bottoms with the black cleats. Oh man, they looked sweet. Quentin Corey out was playing linebacker for them, so. And I like Kansas City at one point in time when they had the Nigerian Nightmare, Christian Okoye.
Christian Okoye.
Christian Okoye.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was that dude till Steve Atwater laid
That's
into
true.
him.
That's true.
But
That's true.
yes, it was different teams that I liked over the course of time. But it always comes back to University of Michigan for me. So that's where my allegiances lie. So I don't know if it's much of a
we all
debate
can't be
there.
perfect.
No,
we all
we can't be. We can't be.
But speaking of college sports, and I think this is something else we got to put a bookmark in, based on our experience of being unks in the NCAA, the NIL landscape.
Ooh, yes.
And,
yeah.
College athletics looks a lot different than it was in our time.
Yeah.
And we don't have to get deeply into it now, but you see all these numbers of these kids and the money they're making, the endorsements, and we were afraid to get a cheeseburger from somebody because our eligibility would be gone. So we'll circle back to that one because I got a lot of thoughts on it.
Yeah.
I got a lot of thoughts on the NIL landscape.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think that's a good topic, good subject to discuss. So but let's transition real quick.
Yes, indeed.
To one final debate topic, and let's talk about music. Okay, so this is gonna be interesting. Okay, so I want to do a couple of things as far as the music. Okay, I want you to talk about maybe if you have a favorite genre. Okay, so so if you want to talk about maybe who your favorite artist is, who your favorite group is. Okay, a group that you followed, and then maybe one or two songs that, like, if this is the only songs that you could listen to, this is what you would go with.
Gotcha. Well, in terms of favorite artists of all time, man, primarily what I listen to is rap, hip hop, R&B.
All right.
Over time I've expanded into some other genres, but I can't profess that they're like all the time. I have a couple of playlists on my tone. What is it I use? I was about to say tonal. It's Tidal, not tonal.
Okay.
A couple of different playlists on my Tidal, and one of them's called Diversify, where I kind of throw all the other stuff that I listen to in there. But in terms of favorite artists of all time, if you can turn your hat back around and show the GOAT for Tupac Amaru Shakur, greatest rapper of all time. I know there are going to be people that say Biggie Smalls, Jay-Z, but let me tell you, at least for me, when there might be some folks that, from a lyrical standpoint, you can say wordplay or different things. But when you talk about somebody that makes you feel what they are talking about in a song, no matter what the subject matter is, if he's braggadocious in that song, if he's uplifting, if he is, I'm riding on all my enemies, if he is, we need to address the social ills that we have in this society, that man made you feel everything that he was talking about in every song without fail. For me, greatest of all time is Tupac Shakur. I'll listen to other opinions, but I'm always going to come down on the side of him being the greatest rapper of all time. Favorite artist of all time.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that you're wrong.
I got a song in response to that. It's called Hit 'Em Up.
Because, I too, we grew up at, the same time, hip hop, R&B was where it was at. As far as artists is concerned, my favorite hip hop artist of all time is Biggie Smalls. Not just because, we share the same name. I mean, Biggie was just, he was an icon when it came to hip hop. He just brought something to the table. Just from a lyrical standpoint, the imagery in his song. The guy, he had a song called I Got a Story to Tell. The dude was a storyteller. He just, and I also like, he was a big fan of Virginia too,
That's true.
There was a few of his songs where he talked about VA, So Biggie Smalls, and he was one artist that I got to see in person at the Jams Fest. Biggie Smalls, when it comes to rap, hip hop, he's my go-to. I got to give it R&B because I was always an R&B. I loved R&B growing up, and I was sharing this with my daughter yesterday. My favorite R&B when it comes to R&B is Luther Vandross.
Ooh.
Luther is my favorite R&B artist, and I know we'll get into songs here in just a moment. But Luther, when it came to R&B, he is my favorite male R&B vocalist. I mean, the brother could sing. You know,
he can.
Yeah, he was.
I'm gonna throw my random one out there, and the reason why is 100% my mom, and it's Keith Sweat. Because when I tell you my entire childhood was Keith Sweat, boy, from start to finish. You know, before CDs, so you had to put the tape in and listen to it from front to back. And if we were in the car, if we were in the house, it was Keith Sweat.
Keith Sweat. Boy, your mom like Keith Sweat like that.
Man, listen.
Shout out to Dante's mom.
Listen, it got me and my brother loving Keith Sweat because of it.
Yeah. No, seriously. Yeah. I mean, the music that our parents listened to, man, it influenced us, you know.
Big time.
I mean, I can remember my dad is from South Carolina, and we used to take trips down there all the time. And, man, I can't tell you how many old school R&B songs I know because of those trips.
Because of the trips, yeah.
You know.
Being in the car late at night and the quiet storm comes on.
The quiet storm.
And you in the backseat of the car trying to stay awake. What a time.
Yeah,
what a time.
You know, those road trips, boy. Whitney Houston, I got to know Whitney on them road trips. I got to know Anita Baker on them road trips. I got to know Sade on them road trips.
So did you learn about Teddy Pendergrass on them road trips?
There was a lot of old school R&B that I learned about. Look, Mustang Sally. Oh my goodness. Oh man,
all of it.
Yeah, gosh, Bill Withers. Yeah, I mean, so much great R&B. But yeah, those road trips. Yeah, I learned a lot. But all time, you know, vocalist male is
Luther. I got you.
Yeah, Luther.
I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that.
Yeah. And then I'm a fan of gospel music too. I love gospel music, and my favorite gospel artist of all time is Fred Hammond. I love Fred Hammond. Fred Hammond is just, I mean, the brother can sing. He plays, you know, multiple instruments. I mean, the brother is bad. Okay, the brother is bad. So when it comes to gospel music, Fred Hammond is my guy. Yeah, so
I can't argue with that one. So I think we were gonna talk about favorite groups of all time.
Favorite groups.
So I have to break mine into two just so that I can name both of them because they're both my favorite.
Okay.
So the first I refer to is a duo.
All right.
And that's Outkast. Andre 3000.
Yes.
And Andre Benjamin. Well, no, hold on a second. Daddy Fat Sax. Right.
They like them Cadillacs.
Listen, bro, from the first album, you know, Southern Playlist of Cadillac music, all the way through. I remember Love Below and the Speaker Box came out when I was in law school. Both the double CD and just the difference in both of those double CDs, like two independent albums, but they put them together. And you know that Love Below got a lot of play, and it was everybody loved it. And you know, what's the one, Caroline? But that Speaker Box, man, I play those now, man, start to finish. There's not a skippable song on that. And I mean, you talk about a duo consistently, every album just top of the game. And I mean, I think a lot of times in the conversation, they don't get the recognition they deserve. I would love it. I would absolutely love it if they were, you know, now you get the chance to see some of your favorite groups and they were touring, and, you know, Big Boy still does his thing. I would love to get a chance to see the two of them together, you know, on an anniversary or any one of these albums, or just like a greatest hits, because I mean, they've been putting in hits since, I think Southern Playalistic was 93, 94.
Yeah.
And both of them brothers can go. So in terms of a duo, just two, it's Outkast.
All right.
In terms of a larger group, I think you already know where I'm going. It's the Wu-Tang Clan, right? No one else. That you've never seen another rap group with that many dudes that were all lyrically on point. That no matter what the subject matter was or what the song was, you can get 5 or 6 of them, sometimes all 9 on the same song.
On the same one.
And that first album when it came out, Into the 36 Chambers, was just, you know, obviously a game changer. You know, nobody ever heard anything like Protect Your Neck. It was just, it almost sounded kind of unedited, like it was raw. You know, it was just like.
And I got a funny story about that. About the unedited. But go ahead.
Yeah, but that went, and I remember again, the music takes me back to like a time. So their second album, Wu-Tang Forever, came out after. I think it was the summer of senior year going into. It was the summer going into senior year, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So I was working at the Grissom Library uptown in Denby, riding a pen train to the library to restack books every day. Listening to that double CD from Wu-Tang every day, man, and then all of the individual albums that they each released, and all of them just non-stop hits, man. Wu-Tang Clan, in terms of groups, you can't find another rap group with that many members, with that level of consistency. They're still out. I think they just had the last tour, and I unfortunately missed it, but I seen them 3 times in person. Just that entire group together, man. You can't beat it. Can't beat it.
Yeah, so I'm with you on from a group standpoint. Wu-Tang is just they were next level, you know. So the funny story I was going to tell you about the End of the 36 Chambers. So talk about raw and unedited. So remember Rose's, the store?
Oh yeah.
They still got one down off of. Well, I know there's one off of 17 in York, but then there's still the Roses.
I think the one on Mercury is still open.
It is. Yeah. So they used to have one here in Williamsburg, and so I remember going in there one day, and it was when that End of the 36 Chambers came out, and I had just heard about Wu-Tang. I had gone to South Carolina to visit my cousin, and he had the album, and I was like, oh man, these dudes this is it right here. So when I got home, I went into Roses. I saw the End of the 36 Chambers. Like, oh, this is it right here. So
you bought it from Roses?
I bought it from Roses. So I get home, okay, pop it in the tape deck, because it wasn't no CD, it was a tape. And I throw it in there. I was like, all right, I'm listening to it. I'm like, all right. I was like, this one don't hit like the one I was listening to in South Carolina. And I looked at the front cover. I was like, hold up. Where's the little parental advisory joint?
Yeah.
I had bought the edited edition.
Yeah, I'm sure the edited version of that album is a lot different.
Oh man, it was a lot different, man. A lot different, man.
This is buying your music out of Roses, man.
Lesson learned. You know,
that's classic.
That was the last tape I bought out of Roses, I think.
Should have been the only one you bought out of Roses.
But despite me having that album from Roses, I still was in love with the Wu-Tang Clan. And yes, when the double LP joint came out, you know, when that Triumph came on, oh my gosh, man.
Yeah.
You know, I bomb atomically, Socrates.
I thought y'all wasn't going to see me?
Yeah, I'm the old Cyrus.
And I had just posted something about this. It was a reel about like different songs that came out in '93, and Cream was one of them.
Yes.
And again, the music takes you back to a place. Like music, I feel like, is the soundtrack to our lives, right? And certain songs can take you back to a time period. And I remember talk about dating yourself, right? Now, internet is everywhere. Your phone's got internet. Your car's got internet. Your car is a Bluetooth hotspot, right? Yeah. But back when we were in school, we had 1 hour of computer lab. The only time we could access the internet was in computer lab. And you know what I did with my entire hour in computer lab?
What were you doing, Judge Bugg?
I was on Lycos and GeoCities printing lyrics to every Wu-Tang song I could find. I had a 3-ring binder of all of the Wu-Tang songs that I could find. And I was like doing legit research, and I know every word to absolutely all of them. But it was just because obviously it was a different time because there wasn't streaming. There weren't so many artists and acts to compete for your attention. Now a new album comes out. If you really, really love it, you might listen to it for a couple of weeks, but then there's somebody new that's dropping and you don't really get a chance to be with the music like we were with those groups. Man, I printed every Wu-Tang lyric I could find. And And somebody had put in the comments how much time we used to waste in our day trying to draw the perfect Wu-Tang W, right?
Yeah, that was me sitting in class trying to draw that joint. Yeah,
trying to get it right. I still make it in the snow with my feet when it snows. At 40 plus years old, I'm out here still trying to draw.
We're never perfect. We're always striving for perfection.
It's true unk status if you're still drawing the Wu-Tang W. One other thing on groups though.
All right.
Because we had talked about, obviously hip hop groups, but I got to mention R&B groups.
Okay.
And to me, it's two, and one was before the other. The first one was New Edition. I tell you, New Edition. So my cousin, I got a large family back home, but
you do have a
the
large
cousins
family.
There's a lot of us.
There's a lot of y'all.
And look, and it's funny because sometimes people are like, I didn't know you were related to them. I'm like, we're all related. But, my cousins, Scorpio.
Oh, shout out
Elton.
to Scorpio, Elton.
We got two Eltons, Lil Elton and EG.
Yeah.
My brother Desmond, my cousin Marcus. When we would be on my grandmother's porch, and you couldn't tell us we were not in a talent show, and we were doing the choreography to every New Edition video we could, and one of us would hop off the porch with the mic. So New Edition was the first one that everything they put out, absolutely loved.
All right.
And the second would be Jodeci. I mean, Jodeci they caught me. Everything that Jodeci put out, those first three albums, like absolutely loved it. Even the Casey and JoJo stuff that they did individually from the group, man. But especially those first two Jodeci albums, doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah.
But New Edition and Jodeci are my top two in terms of R&B groups of all time.
Okay. So I said Wu-Tang. One group I cannot leave out is Tribe Called Quest. What those brothers did, man.
Yeah.
I love Tribe,
Yeah. I got into Tribe late. When they were out, the major songs I would get into, it wasn't until later I went back and listened to stuff. I was like, okay. I see what it was.
It was some groups like that. Mm-hmm. But Tribe, as a matter of fact, my very first rap CD that I owned was the one with went on the world tour.
I don't know the name.
Theory.
The Low End Theory.
The Low End Theory, yes. Low End Theory, gosh, yes. Yes, that album right there was my first hip-hop CD that I owned. My first CD that I ever owned was What's the 411? Mary J. Blige.
Mary J. Blige
was the first one that I owned. I got that one Christmas.
I'm going to tell you an embarrassing thing that my first CD, because I specifically remember it, it was the Vanilla Ice album. Don't ask me why.
All right, stop. Collaborate.
Listen. Let me tell you something. That song had me in a chokehold. Bought the whole album, and it was like, yeah, it's just that song. That's all. That's all he's got to offer. That's all he's bringing to the table. But boy, did he have one.
Yeah, man. He is known for an eternity for that one song.
That one song.
But that was back. Look, but I was see you bought the CD, man. You could have just got the single. You could have got the single, man.
Man, I liked the song so much. I thought
the whole album.
I thought there was something else behind it. Yeah, nah, there was. I listened to it. Like I remember spending my own money on that and wanting to like it, but it would always be back to that. Yeah.
Well, at least he had that one banger on there.
That's all we need, right?
You could go to. Yeah. So okay, and then as far as R&B, I love New Edition. Well, Jodeci for me was that group for me. I'll tell you one of the reasons I got into Jodeci. When R. Kelly came out with 12 Play, okay, I wanted that. A friend of mine had it. I had heard all the songs. I wanted to buy it for Christmas. I got a little gift certificate to one of the local music places. And it was the Blockbuster on Warwick. Remember the Blockbuster on Warwick? Mm-hmm. So I got the gift certificate to the Blockbuster on Warwick. I wanted 12 Play, but I think my mom I think R. Kelly, there had been a story about R. Kelly in that CD and it was a little over the top. And she was like, no, you can't get that.
Little did we know.
Little did we know. I couldn't get that one. So she was like, no, get something else. And I ended up picking up Diary of a Mad Band. And that album, from the first song to the last song, it was a classic. It was a classic, you know. So shout out to Jodeci, because they were up there between them. Oh, 112 too. I loved 112.
Oh yeah, 112.
Oh, man, 112.
Yeah, 112 was more college.
Yes,
that was college.
Yes.
That was once we had MP3s and we were streaming on Winamp and all that stuff. Yeah, 112.
Yeah.
Yeah, 112 was fantastic.
Yeah, 112 was fantastic. And I apologize for going back to the individual artists, but one of my favorite individual artists of all time, Carl Thomas, man. Carl Thomas don't get the respect that he deserves. That album he had,
Summer Rain.
The Summer Rain. Yeah, but no, what's the joint he had? It was love at first sight. Yes. What was the name of that joint? I Wish. It was called I Wish. What was it called? I Wish. And I wish I never met.
That song was so unhinged. He was mad at that woman for sticking with her family. Trying to break up a happy home.
I mean, I understand you got kids, but what about me?
Wish I'd never met her at all.
But okay, so let's do this. Let's transition to favorite songs. So do you have a favorite R&B song and a favorite rap song? If you want to give, one or two, that's cool too.
Listen, again, one of these random things about me.
Okay.
Favorite song. And I don't know why.
Well,
I don't know if anyone.
And you need to let people know, because people might not notice about you, because I know, I've known you for, a few years now. But one thing people might not know about Judge Bugg is that, this is the Judge is like your side hustle, right? That's your side hustle, right?
Oh, that's my primary source of income. But I do dabble in DJing on the side. So, but yeah, DJing was like my COVID hobby. I had bought turntables, or CDJs, they call them, years before COVID happened. And, I'm the type of person, I'll get into a new hobby, buy all the best equipment, and then kind of lose interest in it, right?
Right.
But when COVID happened, like, it was one of those things where, like, I had unlimited time on my hand, and I started using YouTube and watched YouTube tutorials and taught myself how to understand all of the buttons and what was going on, how to count music, beat match, transitions, and things like that. So definitely DJing, and I think, obviously, I've always loved music, but that expanded my horizons, doing different events for folks that wanted different types of music. I was supposed to do a wedding. I didn't ultimately do it because they ended up getting eloped, but I was supposed to do a wedding, and they wanted yacht rock. And I was like, wow, okay. And I knew, what's his name, Michael McDonald, but I had to, like, get myself well-versed in yacht rock and also get to a point where I could rock a party with it, So I think that's helped in terms of, understanding music. But, in terms of favorite songs, and it's been a favorite for a while, I really don't have an explanation on why, but one of my favorite songs of all time is Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive.
Okay.
Right? And
that's different.
Yeah, right. I love it. It comes on. I can't help but sing it, right? And I don't know why. I just love it. It catches me. Yeah. So I follow Gloria Gaynor on Instagram just because of that. Like, every day, it's like that is my jam. I'm not gonna sing it. I'm not gonna sing it, but that's my jam. That is my jam. But a little less kind of outskirts or outlandish in terms of favorite songs. Again, obviously, a lot of them are, Tupac songs, Ambitions of a Rider, Hail Mary, Hit 'Em Up, but Changes, right? Or I Wonder If Heaven's Got a Ghetto, right? A lot of those Tupac songs that, that I listen to that have that kind of mood that they just move you, they just really, really move you. I'm trying to think of others in terms of favorite song. I listen to so much music, it's tough to, one that's a little more recent. Oh, I say this at the risk of people clowning me, but it's Drake. It's, oh my goodness, I can't even think of it now. It's Drake, Travis Scott, and somebody else, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I'm blanking on. Hold on a second, I got to pull it up now because now I need to come up with it. Let me see.
You mentioned Drake and Travis Scott. You're going to have all the Kendrick and Clips fans out there.
I know, right? I don't want all that smoke. I'm just saying I like the song. I like the song. I don't know any of these people individually. I'm not in anybody's squirmish. But is it Fair Trade? I think it's Fair Trade. Yeah, off of the Certified Lover Boy album, Drake, Fair Trade.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite songs. It's like I can just put it on and listen to. But if I had to pick one, I'm gonna come back to, and the reason I'm gonna have to tell the reason why I picked this song. Because I think we've talked about it, the idea of what your come outs. No, we didn't talk about it on here, but I did an event. I did a event where we were speaking to students at George Mason, and the icebreaker was, what would be your walk-up song if you could pick a song? Man, I used to always think when I was in private practice, especially as a criminal defense attorney, I was like, man, there should be music playing when I walk into this joint, right? Like this, I'm coming to rec shop. There needs to be a song to let the people know I'm here. And random memory, we had an auction at the University of Maryland for some student organization associated with homecoming. And my come out song to the auction, which I think should be my come out song when I was in private practice, and it'll always be my favorite song, is The Man Right Here by Mystical. That song. Oh. Boy. Listen. I need it. It plays in my head at every important moment in life. Believe that. The Man Right Here. That's my if I had to pick one, which is tough, because if you ask me tomorrow, it may be a different song, but The Man Right Here is always consistently in my top 3. Love that song.
Yeah, there's a lot of songs that I could go to. I'm gonna go R&B first. I mentioned Luther earlier being my favorite R&B artist. My favorite. I mean, it's a lot, man. There's so many Luther songs. Superstar, I love Superstar.
Yeah.
A House Is Not a Home. I mean, Luther's got some classics.
Oh, can I tell you one that gives me? Dance with My Father is a great song.
Yes,
That's a great song.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But I go back to the original, Never Too Much. Mm-hmm. For me, that's when I think about R&B, man, that song for me is just, I love it. I love Never Too Much. Luther, that was Big Luther too. In his prime.
Big Luther.
That was Big Luther in his prime.
You gotta know the difference between Big Luther and Little Luther.
Yeah, that was Big Luther in his prime. He was in the studio. He put the headphones on, and then, I can't fool myself. I don't want nobody else to ever love me. I mean, yo.
And you might actually be able to sing, brother.
Man, I'm telling you, man. I might need to do a concert or something, man.
Hey, we turn this podcast into America's Got Talent. You sing, I DJ.
There you go.
We're the Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff. We just figured it out, Judge Bugg.
We just figured it out.
We like Kid and Play out there.
We about to go in a whole different direction with this podcast.
Coming to a city near you, baby. Mm-hmm. So, at your local sports bar.
Yes, yeah. But as far as hip hop is concerned, man, so many. I mean, when I think about hip hop, the one song that always there's actually 2. I'll go with 2. Okay, and they're both, I'd say they're old school at this point in time. It Takes Two, Rock Bass.
Ooh, Rock Bass,
yeah. That's a classic.
That's a good one.
That's a classic. That's a classic. But I tell you another one that always sticks out in my mind. Big Daddy Kane, Smooth Operator.
Oh yeah.
That joint right there. So my cousin Steven, he's a listener of the podcast, and he's one of those folks to be getting in the comments, talking crazy.
Oh, that's who that is? Hey, shout out. I just know him by his Instagram name, but he be on your neck in the comments. Shout out to cousin Steven.
He is from Bad News. He's from Newport News. Okay. Although I messed with him because he graduated from Lafayette. He came and lived with us his senior year. And, he became like a big brother when he was living with us. And he gave me and my brother a hard time. He used to tease us. He both gave us hip hop names. So my brother was MC Head because he had a big old head. and I was DJ Split Lip. And he called me DJ Split Lip because my bottom lip was always split. and it would bleed. And so he called me DJ Split Lip. And my brother was
chapstick in your life,
exactly. I was a little kid. I ain't worried about no doggone chapstick. But I was DJ Split Lip, and my brother was MC Head. But shout out to cousin Steven because Steven came and lived with us his senior year. He came for the summer and he ended up staying for his senior year. He went to Minchville originally, but then he came up to Williamsburg and lived with us and graduated from Lafayette. But, don't let him, he's going to tell you from Newport News regardless of where he graduated from.
He should.
So, but, I would listen to the music, and because, I ain't know nothing about no Public Enemy until Steven showed up. I ain't know nothing about Big Daddy Kane. I ain't know nothing about Special Ed. I ain't know nothing about MC Light and Queen Latifah or Eazy-E, until Steven showed up. So shout out to cousin Steven, but for Steven coming up to Williamsburg to live with us, my hip hop journey might have started a little bit later, but my hip hop journey started in 1990 when he was living with us. Yeah. 1990.
You missed a lot. You came in the bad boy shiny suit era.
No, I meant 1990 when Steven was living with us. So that was my introduction to hip hop was cousin Steven. So shout out to cousin Steven, though he do be on my neck in the comments. And also my text message as well. Don't let Michigan lose a ball game. I'm surprised I ain't heard from him.
They did yesterday.
Yeah, I'm surprised I ain't heard from him yet, but I'm sure he'll see this at some point in time.
I said I was gonna let you have some peace since we lost.
Yeah.
But since we talking about it,
it is what it is. So, but real quick, two other songs. I know I told you I love gospel music. There's a song by an artist named Daryl Coley. Shout out to Daryl Coley. Daryl Coley is he passed, but Daryl Coley is one of the best singers that I've ever heard of all time, like across the board. I mean, I don't care what genre, but he sings a song called When Sunday Comes. And when I tell you, I tried to hit some of the notes this brother hits, and I can't get nowhere close.
Yeah.
I mean, he's that type of artist. I mean, so if you've never heard the song, go out, listen to When Sunday Comes. Oh my gosh, it's just one of those songs that it'll touch you. Really, it will. But and this will be my last piece on the music. So I think we probably you talked about Gloria Gaynor, being your song, okay? But I never was really a big rock fan or into heavy metal or anything like that. But, sometimes you have those songs that you're into, that maybe be from a genre that you're not necessarily going to listen to on a regular basis. Chris Stapleton, Tennessee Whiskey. I love that one. But the one song that is of a genre I normally wouldn't listen to, but for some reason, this song, I just love this song. Okay. Under the Bridge, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I'm not sure if I know which. I like some Chili Pepper songs. Okay. I'm not sure if I know which one Under the Bridge is.
Sometimes I feel like I don't have a friend.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
I don't want to feel.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Listen, speaking of chili, so it's funny you mentioned Chili Peppers. My roommate and good friend from law school, Aaron Christoph. Shout out to my boy AC.
Yeah.
Big Chili Peppers fan.
Okay,
right?
All right.
And anytime I was in his car, anytime we were in my car, it was gonna be Master P, No Limit, something like that. But if we got in the Christoph's car, I don't know if he had anything other than the Chili Peppers. So after 2 years, I was like, yeah, I'm a Chili Peppers fan too. I just didn't recognize the name of that one, but yeah, the Chili Peppers got some. And you mentioned gospel songs that it took me back to one other one that I'll mention. Is Rough Side of the Mountain. My grandmother used to listen to that song.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I still play that song to this day, again, for what it does to you when you hear that song, Rough Side of the Mountain. In terms of that's that good choir gospel, right?
Yeah. So shout out to music. We love the music on the Unscripted Order podcast. So
love it.
So let's transition to our final segment. Our now, I guess we've patented it, the off the record segment. You know, we go off the record. You know, judges. You know, this is off the record. You know, this is not on the record. This is off the record. So on the off the record segment, let's talk really briefly about guilty pleasures. Is there a guilty pleasure that you have that most people would be like, I wouldn't have pegged you for being a fan of that or liking that. Maybe it's a show or it could be music, whatever it is. So is there a guilty pleasure that you have, Judge Bugg?
So some of mine usually are around like reality TV. Okay. Right? Like I love Below Deck. I don't know if you ever seen that.
I've seen the ads for it or whatnot.
Yeah, where they have like the luxury cruise and it just follows the cast. Not the cast, but I guess the crew of the ship.
All right.
And it's inevitable. Like people like each other, they start hooking up. There's drama. Somebody's not doing their job. They're not upholding their end of the deal. And they have these different seasons with different cast members on it. But I mean, I think that goes all the way back to like my brothers and sisters and I used to really love like The Real World when it first started.
Yeah.
And I have, in terms of, I don't know if it's a guilty pleasure, but like a desire, I've always wanted to be on one of those type of reality shows.
Okay.
So the most recent one it's called The Circle on Netflix. So I guess this would be my current guilty pleasure. It's called The Circle on Netflix. And it's sort of like The Real World and all those reality shows where you put people together and ultimately there's going to be a winner that wins a prize. But instead of cramming everybody in the same house, they're in an apartment complex. And the only way they can communicate with each other is through this social media network called The Circle.
Okay.
So some people go in, they're catfishing as somebody they don't know. Some people are catfishing as a family member, and some people are their genuine selves. And they have different challenges or different things they have to do in interactions. And you got to gain consensus and build alliances and all kinds of stuff like that. You talk about a guilty pleasure, and like if there was the right time, I might send in an audition video to get on The Circle one of these days. I love that show. I love that show. And I think I would win it. I mean, how could I not?
Okay. Yeah. I look, I wouldn't disagree with you. I'd be in your corner. Look, if there was a call in or I could text the number. If I would text the number for you.
Vote right here for Dante.
When it comes to guilty pleasures, I don't know that I've got like a guilty pleasure per se. I'm not really into the reality TV. That's not really my thing. If there's a guilty pleasure, maybe we get back to the food. Man, I'm a sweets fiend.
Really?
Oh my gosh. Like, so early part of this year, I was like, look, I got to lose some weight, So I knew what I was going to have to do is I was going to have to give up the sweets. I was going to have to cut out the sweets. I was going to have to cut out the sweets and cut out bread. And I dropped probably 35, almost 40 pounds. And so I cut out the sweets for about 3-4 months. Now I'm back on my sweet tip now because I've lost the weight. And I realize and understand now that, I can't eat the number of calories that I was eating. Mm-hmm. I mean, I still work out. I know I got to watch my caloric intake. So some days it might just, I might have more sweets in my diet than anything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so I like cookies. This is one of my favorite times of the year because I'm a candy corn fiend.
You like candy
corn?
Oh,
I love candy corn. And it's the way that I eat it. So I eat it by the individual
by
colors.
color section?
Yes. So I'm chewing the orange first, and I get to I'm trying to get the perfect bite too. So I'm just trying to, let me get that orange, just the orange. I mean,
do you
all
notice
tastes the same.
This is a random question. Okay. Do you notice that there's a difference in the taste of the colors, or do they just all taste like candy?
It's all the same.
It's all the same. It tastes like dry sugar.
Yeah, it all tastes like that sugar. But here's the thing. While the candy corn all tastes the same, all candy corn is not created equal. Okay. Shout out to Brach's, Brachs, Brach's, that makes the candy corn. If it is not Brach's candy corn, I don't want it.
You ain't eating it.
I ain't eating it. Don't come in here with like the CVS, or the Food Line brand candy corn that you might see randomly like in May. No, look, I know I'm in my window right now. Yeah. I'm in my window to get the best candy corn. And so,
man ain't doing no off-brand.
I don't do no, I'll do some off-brand stuff, but it ain't gonna be the candy corn. Okay? Give me my Brock's candy corn. I'll even, there are even some gourmet candy corns, like some of these gourmet candies, they'll make a candy corn, but it ain't Brock's.
It ain't what you're looking for.
It ain't what so if I got a guilty pleasure, I'll say it. It's candy corn. I love candy corn. I love Brock's candy corn. I'm a ride or die with Brock's, and it's that's my favorite candy.
That's your thing.
I love sweets. I love ice cream. Right now, I'm on a cookies and cream kind of tip right now. Shout out to Parlor Donuts in Virginia Beach. Best donut. If you've never had a Parlor donut, you've never had a donut before. Okay.
Better than Duck Donuts?
Oh, they killing Duck Donuts.
Really?
Oh my gosh! Because
Duck got some good donuts.
Duck got some good donuts. Okay, but they're that cake donut, and so you eat one or two of those, and it starts to sit heavy on you. Okay, it'll start to sit heavy on you. But so Parlor Donuts. The first time I had a Parlor Donut was in South Carolina. I was down there. My dad is from down there, so we went down there to visit on vacation, and there's a place down in there called Pawleys Island. Shout out to Pawleys Island. Love that place. Great community. But in Pawleys Island, there's a Parlor Donuts. Okay, and the Parlor Donuts went in there, one morning, we was looking for breakfast, went in there, and first of all, they got probably 15, 20 different types of flavors, okay? And you're looking at these things look massive, okay? But it's an illusion, okay? Because the donuts are croissant-based, okay?
I know what you're talking about. Okay,
they're like a croissant-based donut. Yeah. So instead of being like thick, they're kind of light and airy, and they've got all the flavors. Yeah. But it's a lighter donut. When I tell you, when I was in Virginia Beach, I got a dozen, and I was actually going to distribute to a couple people. Man, first of all, my son ended up coming home. I told you. He killed a couple of them joints. Yeah, they ain't make it out of my household. They just stayed right there in the house. So Parlor Donuts. So yeah, I'm a sweets fiend. I love sweets.
I can dig it.
Yeah, I love sweets. And it's kind of ironic considering my dad was a dentist, growing up. But, hey, brush your teeth. You be all right.
Brush your teeth.
Just brush your teeth. All right.
You tough.
Brush your teeth, floss. So that's my guilty pleasure. So
I can dig it.
All right, Judge, anything else before we get out of here?
Nah, man, just as usual, I want to thank everybody for their support. And as usual, man, it's always a pleasure to get a chance to catch up with you. Like you said, we got some new things coming down the pipeline. But anytime we get a chance to go off the record, man, and unscript this thing is always a pleasure, man. So
yeah. And I will say this: we are going to start to have guests on the podcast. Yeah. And we have our first guest confirmed, and I'm excited. Yeah. This is going to be an all-time classic right out the gate. Yeah. As far as the guest is concerned. So I'm excited about it. And so we'll announce that at some point in time, over the next few weeks. But
yes,
but yeah. And then, I have some other news coming out here too. If you follow
we got all kinds of ideas. We got some different types of episodes coming up and some interactive stuff. And just click the follow button, like the stuff, share it, send it to
subscribe,
your
people. And on those platforms where you can give us ratings, give us 5-star ratings, okay? Give us 5-star ratings. Yeah. It helps us, on those platforms. And
I need my 5 mics in the source, baby.
Yes. We do need the 5 mics.
I need my 5 mics.
Yes, indeed. So, all right. Well, look, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Indeed. Until next time, I'm B Smalls.
And I'm D Bugg. Y'all have a good one. Be safe.
All right. Peace.